Hey everybody, how's it going? Another episode here. It's great to be with you. This is Angel with Mr. Randy, Mr. Heath.
Oh, we're back to the Mr.
I like the Misters. I think it's formal. Hey, welcome you to another one. Thank you so much for joining us on iTunes. Once again, don't forget to subscribe and get that going. And of course, we got our great, amazing what?
No,
Twitter.
go ahead. Well, yeah, no. Well, we'll end that with the show. What we need to start pushing is that we need reviews. That's the main thing when it comes to iTunes.
Let's do it.
Because right now, if you type in our title, we don't even come up until you press search. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't come up when you start typing our title.
Gotcha.
So we need reviews. We need friends, family. I have a few quarters I can set aside, start paying people. No, but honestly though, we need reviews.
Well, feedback. We all need feedback.
Yeah,
too.
and we can even start setting goals. Like when we reach 20 reviews, we'll do a drawing, and maybe somebody wins a Kobe Bryant rookie card. You know what I mean?
You just lost half the audience.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm just
along
kidding.
those lines, like, because all of us have collections of cards.
No, we'll definitely do some getaways. That's
I mean,
listen. Let's put it this way. We'll do the challenge right now. Let's get some reviews out there. We'll keep you posted as to the next episode, and as the reviews come in, we're all game for putting up some type of a drawing, and we'll get the prizes out. Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Listen, another great week. I don't want to touch base on anything other than the fact that this is going to be a really different type of show. We May Rant this one is all about heroes. You heard the opening title. Let's just dive right into it. You know, a lot of times we grow up with what is a hero. So let's just start with that. What is your definition of a hero? Just throw that out there. What do you think? You want to go first, Randy?
Somebody you look up to,
Okay.
right? Somebody you aspire to be, right? You want that person, obviously, to be respectable, do the right things. I guess be the shining star. Like I said, something to aspire to. You know what I mean? A lot of people, throw their sports people as heroes, or the military. You hear a lot of the military. Sometimes people, will refer to their parents as heroes and stuff too. So, I guess it's a combination of those.
Okay.
For me.
How about you, Heath?
People that can be perfect in their imperfections.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
He went there. He got deep.
No, but I'm saying, like, people that make it okay to be heavier than what society deems you should be. You know what I mean? And make it okay to not be the most intelligent person when it comes to something like you're not knowledgeable about. Like, people that make you feel like there's something you can strive to be without being perfect. You know what I mean? Because that's the problem. None of us are perfect. And if we look at certain athletes, obviously they're all top peak condition until you get to guys like what's his name? Priest Fielder? Is that his name?
Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder.
Mm-hmm.
He's a heavyset guy, but yet he made it to the major leagues because he worked hard. You know what I mean? But he didn't need to have abs. He didn't have to weigh 150 pounds, 210 pounds. He's a big guy that just works hard. You know what I mean? Meghan Trainor, the singer, made a happy, upbeat song about the fact that she's not some 2x4. She's a curvy girl.
Yeah.
Beyonce too. She's happy in her curves, and Adele, another one. They make women see that it's okay, that you don't have to be a supermodel, and young girls can be okay with not being a size 0. You know what I mean? And it's people that are perfect in their imperfections and allow us all to realize that we can reach that level without having to be what society deems flawless. You know what I mean? And then integrity is very, very integral to me. Loyalty. You know what I mean? Honesty. I have truth tattooed on my arm for a reason. Like, I hold all these things in high regard. So, that was terrifying. But that's what I consider a hero. So what do you consider a hero?
I think we all touch base pretty well on it. When I hear the word hero, for me, the first thing I think about is generosity. I picture a hero of somebody who thinks about other people before themselves, who put, and I'll segue right into what you said, Randy. It's like a military. You know, they're fighting for our rights, for our freedom, but more importantly, on top of that, I shouldn't say more importantly, but on top of that, someone who backs up what they say and literally practices what they preach.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very tall order to do, and I don't think many people can do it. That's, to me, is a hero. It's just somebody that, again, I look up to, I aspire to be, and would be honored to be on the same platform or sentence with. So, with that being said, let's dive into athletes right now that you believe are close to that criteria. After we do that, we'll then go with athletes that haven't done that, but had the potential and may have fell off. So again, let's start off with, who do you think right now, if you had to choose one athlete from your favorite sport, we'll make it easier because that way it's not too broad.
Heath is going to say LeBron James.
Is your is your favorite hero? And now I'm gonna start because I'm always dishing it out to you guys. So I'll start.
All right.
When I think of the word hero, the first person truly that I've always felt was a hero, athlete-wise. Believe it or not, yeah, right.
Instigator.
Nice. Believe it or not, for me, was Hulk Hogan. I know that he's had a lot of stigma in the past, but I just like, I'm going to my childhood for a second. I liked Hulk Hogan because he had a message, you know, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and believe in yourself, and train every day. There were four commandments, all that. I like that. Now, that was the 80s, but I don't know, I always looked up to that. I was a kid, I didn't know wrestling was real, well, it was fake. But, you know,
What?
Yeah, exactly. So, but that was my childhood. So I guess I should rephrase what I said. Who was your childhood hero first? Let's start there.
All right.
So that was my childhood hero, was
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, based off of that charisma that he had.
So when Andre the Giant choked out Hulk Hogan, in that one,
I cried every time Hulk Hogan got hurt, got injured. You can ask my family. I mean, I can tell you almost every match. I know the dates. That's how much of a geek I was. I know the dates of when he lost.
You still know.
And to this day,
He had every episode on VHS.
Listen, my birthday's March 9th. March 8th, he was given cracked ribs and taken out for internal injuries. And that was before WrestleMania 2. I remember that like it was yesterday.
He still knows.
Yes.
Wow.
I do. So that was my childhood hero.
My God. Go ahead.
Good thing I'm married, because I would have just lost a lot of details.
Oh, you did.
I don't know. I guess I'm almost around the same. Now that he brought up Hulk Hogan, he's really the only one that I can see from my childhood being affected by in that way. I mean, I really wasn't that heavy into sports as a kid.
Sounds awful.
Sorry, I had to pour a little raspberry. What do you call it? What is this?
Cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice.
Oh,
There we go.
man.
Hey,
And it's a horrible drink.
It's called kidney stone. Help. Okay.
Yes.
Kidney stone breaker upper.
That's
Yeah.
it. Go ahead. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right.
The UTI.
Yeah,
Solver.
I guess. I mean, I really wasn't. I wasn't into basketball that much, and I followed baseball somewhat. Didn't follow hockey.
Whoa. What?
Hockey's a good sport. We'll talk about that one day.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
When I'm dead.
Heath will be absent that day.
With a kidney
It'll just be
stone.
us. Oh yeah.
The size of a puck.
No.
And just.
So who was it?
I mean,
You didn't say who it was.
I'd
Hulk
say
Hogan?
probably Hulk Hogan
really?
also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I guess we were both under the assumption that wrestling was real back then. So
Yeah.
I remember the part where Miss Elizabeth fell and
Oh yeah.
hurt her leg or whatever, and Hogan had to come down and pick her up and take her in the back, and and
That was the main event in February.
Oh God, here we
Yes,
go.
I know the year and date, but go ahead.
And Macho Man.
Jesus.
Okay, so it was Macho Man facing in the ring that day.
Oh
There
God.
you go.
It was the Mega Powers.
See, there you go.
Yes, and who actually threw him out of the ring to hit Elizabeth?
Oh God.
It was Akeem, the African Dream.
There we go. See. All right, here it is. Right.
I'm really bad when it comes to the 80s. I'm just letting you know right now.
Good Lord.
I'm not as bad as that. Okay, and I remember him taking Elizabeth to the back and Macho Man standing in the ring with his hands in the air, like, "What do you do?" This was the time,
Yeah.
you know, where it actually, you know, the stories actually made sense.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, but yeah, I mean, as far as going back to the heroes thing, it's like I guess, you know, I'm with you as far as that, because I really didn't have, you know, anybody like that. So.
I got a question for you on a follow-up, but we're going to go to Heath. Heath, who's your hero?
See, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I watched sports, but at the time, like, I wasn't as obsessed as I am now. Like, I was more, my heroes were Stephen King and, you know, Frank Dixon, who wrote the Hardy Boys. Like, those are the guys I idolized. So
That's great, though. There's somebody good.
oh
to
yeah,
idolize.
but I mean, since you guys are gonna make your hero a soap opera star,
No, stick
No,
with
no,
that.
no.
That's your real hero.
no. Well, my hero, as far as athletics, had to be Rocky Balboa.
Okay. That's
I mean,
it's
come
a
on.
hero.
You mean
he was-
the guy that doesn't even exist?
No, exactly. Hey, if Philadelphia can treat him like
Well,
a hero, I can treat him like a
Hulk Hogan
hero.
really didn't exist either. It
Well,
was just a
Rocky
character.
actually, and Rocky Balboa did exist. He was based on an actual boxer, but that's besides
That's true.
the point.
And Hogan threw him out of the ring.
Yeah,
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah,
Oh,
It was
yeah,
Thunderlips.
yes, he did.
It was
Yeah,
Thunderlips.
yeah. That's a horrible name, by the way. Sounds like a horrible porn star name. Anyway, but he was always the underdog.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And he didn't win the first time, but he fought hard, or he worked hard, came back, won the second time, beat this Russian that killed his friend. You know what I mean? Like,
I must break you.
yeah, I looked up to him because, first of all, he was written to be perfect as far as a hero. You know what I mean? And that's what most athletes strive for, is to have that story. You know what I mean? They all want that story. They all want to be the underdog that overcomes everything and wins in the end. And he lived that. You know what I mean? And as a kid, you don't know the difference, really, between what's a movie and what's actual sports.
Thank you for saying that, because this was my follow-up. When did you know, real quick, because I don't want to touch, I want to keep on this topic, but when did you find out wrestling was fake?
When,
I can tell you when mine was. It was the day that I saw on the news that Hacksaw Jim Duggan was pulled over and he was smoking weed with the Iron Sheik. And I was, and they were in a big feud. And you know, not for nothing, I saw the documentary.
Oh,
you know
God.
that Hacksaw Jim Duggan was designed to be this big star. They were going to make him big. He was a big up and coming star.
Yeah.
When that happened, done. He was never put on that, because that's what.
Because he ruined the story.
That it ruined. That
You
broke
even
it
know
open.
that he won the first Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, he
First
was
ever Royal
destined to
Rumble.
be. They were trying to make him like another All-American,
Yeah.
because they knew Hogan was starting to get maybe a little bit, you know, and yeah, so it's very interesting. But yeah, that's when I knew when wrestling was fake. I was devastated. I was like, "There's something wrong.
Like,
They're
I
not
mean,
supposed to be in the same
I
car."
was into it. I had the figures, like those big rubber things. I had the ring.
I have them here, man.
Well,
I
alright,
have the whole collection.
We're trying to keep listeners.
Okay. I even have the cage.
You're terrifying.
I even
them.
have the cage.
All right, stop saying
Okay,
it out
I'm
loud.
sorry.
You know it's not in your head, right? This is recording.
I forgot. I'm so comfortable right now. I
No,
forgot.
it's fun. You
I
know,
played with them till I was
that-
18 too.
I got nothing. I've got nothing. I don't know what to do with
That was
that.
the most embarrassing day of my life. My brother
I don't know what to do with
videotaped
that.
me, and then he played it at my party with all
You
the
know what
girls.
though? He probably saved your life.
Uh,
He probably did. He probably saved your life, because after that point you were like, maybe I should put him away.
I did.
Otherwise,
I
you'd
never
still
played
be
with
playing
I
with
never
him.
He probably
I wish-
saved your life. I love it.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah, it is what
And
it
look,
is.
and then you started dating girls, and you're like, this is even better. Look, it's real life wrestling,
Yeah.
and it's a lot more fun.
Yeah. Look, honey, figure 4.
Look, you're much softer than this rubber toy. Which, don't go the wrong way with that. All right, but all right. So,
Sorry.
as far as heroes in regards to sports, I don't have anyone specific. Like,
Okay.
you could say Jeter played the game right, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we're not up that far yet. Let's stay with the childhood.
Oh,
I don't wanna
that's the
go-
thing. I don't have it.
That's okay. Then now we'll go into that part. Then you'll
All
lead
right.
it off. You didn't answer the real quick question about when you thought wrestling was fake. Just to end.
think there was-
You just ruined that for him.
Well, no, it's fake.
What do you mean?
What do you mean it's fake?
There goes half of our other viewers.
What,
right
what do
there.
you What do you mean?
But-
I don't understand.
But Santa told me it was real.
No, I think there was there was one match or something where, like, I literally saw the guy take the blade and start cutting himself. Like
they cut themselves deep back
the
then.
camera,
Oh, yeah,
the camera caught the blade. He had it like in his wristband,
Okay.
and I saw him pull it out and then start cutting his head with
Wow.
the blade.
Wasn't that Triple H?
And
I
you
think
know what? It might have been.
I think I saw the same match. I
and
think it was Triple H.
it was like you literally saw,
That's
and you're
not,
like,
that's recent, dude.
and you're like,
That was recent.
No, it was early in his career.
yeah, it was
It was
one of
Hunter
the early
Hearst
ones.
Helmsley.
That's like in the '90s. He came in the '90s. Hunter
Yeah, but I
Helmsley.
stopped. Yeah, but I stopped wrestling after a while.
That's now you're making
You know
fun of
what I
me,
mean? So-
brother. You were like already in your late teens.
Okay. So
That's another-
I'm still watching wrestling now.
That's okay. That's another podcast right there. Damn.
You just admitted to playing with dolls at 18 years old.
that was
You
That
have
was
nothing.
the late teens.
You
That's
have-
as late as they get.
You have nothing. You have nothing to say right now.
I'm
Okay,
gonna drink my cranberry juice. Right
that's
Oh.
right. Drink your prune juice. Okay.
Right now, I'm so happy I'm not that into wrestling. I don't have one of these embarrassing stories.
All right, we're gonna we'll move up the years. All right, let's go into your early adult, age. Let's just go up to right now.
All right. Well, I mean, I was a Mets fan like Gary Carter.
God bless
You know
you.
what I mean? And
I like this topic.
but I didn't know
God.
anything. I didn't know anything off the field though. You know what I mean, I just liked him because I don't know. Maybe I identified with him because I liked the fact he was a catcher and catchers in general on the team. I always like being a leader when I'm playing sports. That's why I play point guard. You know what I mean? I like to be the one in charge of what's happening on the floor.
Did you have a favorite player or a hero in basketball since you?
Oh,
played
I
that
love
sport?
Charles Oakley. He was my favorite player.
Okay.
But as far as someone I could look up to, it had to be John Starks because you're talking about a guy that was bagging groceries. Now all of a sudden he's on the Knicks. You know what I mean? And he's winning games for them, losing games for them. Yes, he lost the title for them, but I mean he's
0 for 20.
he's headbutting Reggie Miller. You know what I mean? He's dunking on Jordan, Grant, and Pippen.
Greatest poster, by the way.
Oh my God, yeah. I jumped, and I might still be in the air from that dunk.
LeBron
It was
couldn't do that, by
unbelievable.
the way.
No, and but he was your everyday guy
Yeah, I agree.
that just happened to make it to the NBA and play for the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Like I looked up to John Starks while Oakley was my favorite player. You know what I mean? But like. The closest thing I could say to who I would come to idolize is probably Jeter for doing it right, but I don't know what he did off the field. I've never really heard anything that he's done off the field. So I would have to say that it's more of a general thing. My heroes are the players that go back to their community and
Right.
they open a Boys and Girls Club or they open an after school program, you know what I mean? Or they start putting money into the place that they came from, which is exactly what you were saying in that rant from the other episode.
Right.
Like, when you go back and you remember where you came from and you start putting money back into that society, those are the guys that I respect. Those are what I consider quote-unquote heroes. Because you're making more money than you can spend in 10 lifetimes.
Right.
For a lot of these guys. So, do that. Go back. Use that money. Make a difference.
Yeah.
You've got 10 more kids coming up that might see what you've done and end up in the NBA. Now you've got 10 more people making that same difference. And if everyone had actually done that, do you mind if I go off on a tangent?
Of course.
It has nothing to do with heroes.
That's
but
Well, that's why we rant. Go
Well,
ahead.
people like Oprah, for example.
Mhm.
I'm sure she does a lot of good things. But she makes more money than half this country could spend in a lifetime.
Mhm.
What are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? Like,
She could be anonymous. I can't say it.
Anonymous.
No, I get
anonymously
it. But my
donating,
thing
you know,
is, like, she's Chicago, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at how bad the violence is in Chicago. You don't think that has to do because of poverty and situations like that? But
Money's not going to solve that.
no,
either,
no, no. But it could if you're putting it into programs, get these kids off the streets and out of gangs. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true.
And same thing. Eminem is a perfect example. He actually puts his money back into Detroit. But let's say Oprah was from Detroit, or Bill Gates was from Detroit. Like, you have the money to lift these people up. You have the money to maybe create, like, knock down all these buildings that are condemned and give people jobs rebuilding the city. I don't understand why these aren't things that are being done with people with money.
I've always said, why is it that, because a lot of these athletes, right? You know, they make $145 $1 million,
Yeah.
right? Yet doctors don't even make that, and they save lives,
Well,
right? But I'm sorry. Let me hear my point. Why can't they take percentages out of every athlete and put it back into the school systems? Where
It's supposed to be. That's
so
what
was
the
the lottery,
income's
but
supposed to be. Yeah.
but it's not.
Exactly.
But if every athlete donated even 0.5%,
Yeah.
we
Look
would
at
have-
how. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that. But why isn't it done?
I don't want to get political, but it comes down to what Bernie Sanders wanted done if he were to win. He wanted people like the Waltons, who make $9 billion a year, to pay taxes because they get money back at the end of the year because so many of their employees are on welfare. They get a tax break.
Right.
Instead of paying tax on $9 billion. But that's a whole other thing. My thing is, if you want athletes to be considered heroes, people that we can look up to, turn around and do something with this money that you're making. Yeah,
Right.
like, you can make all this money and your kids and their kids and their kids are gonna be taken care of. But to be a hero to me, you should be doing something, and the players that do are the ones that I look up to.
Well, kudos to Dolly Parton, because I was just staying on the same topic. What you were saying was I was in Tennessee a few months ago, and in there was the Tennessee fires that completely destroyed the homes.
Oh, really?
Around where she lives, and she literally took the money that she makes, and she has her own resort down there too. It's called Dollywood.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But she's putting it back.
She literally took the money and she rebuilt all the homes that were lost in the fire, and gave back to the community and stuff, and helped. That's a hero. You know what I mean? That goes along with what Heath was saying. So
That's pretty cool. Listen, real quick.
and it wasn't on the news or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like,
well, it's like Steve
not
Bus-
around here, but it might have been there. But
Right.
That's like the actor Steve Buscemi. He went down to 9/11. When 9/11 happened, he's a firefighter. He's a volunteer firefighter. He went down to 9/11 and worked on trying to get people out from the rubble. And he wanted no publicity for that. You know what I mean? But that's a hero.
Right.
That is a goddamn hero.
Right.
Because he didn't go down there and call camera crews to come look what I'm doing. He went down there because it was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? And athletes, a good example of athletes being heroes is when 9/11 happened. Athletes gave us something to take our mind off it. You know what I mean? Especially in New York, because the Giants won, the Rangers were doing well, the Yankees got to the World Series. We were able to, as a country, pick ourselves up because these guys wearing NYPD and fire department hats, they showed that they were behind the first responders, and they gave our country something to kind of join together for, and that's what makes sports great, and that's what makes athletes heroes. But none of them, as far as I'm concerned, can be considered the hero or like
I don't think you're
necessarily
gonna ever
a
get
hero.
the hero.
Yeah.
But I think it's all about here's the counter to that. You have those that do it because they want to. I believe there's a lot of athletes that do what they do because they want to get their name out there. And that publicity-wise, let's use that for example. I don't know. Is it me or is it like the whole NFL? When the Super Bowl happens, they always give an award for somebody who did the best of giving back? Why does it have to be an award?
It might be the Walter Payton Award.
Why does it have to be an
Yeah,
award?
but every sport does it.
But why? Okay, let's whatever. Why does it have to be an award?
There shouldn't be an award because that should be the standard.
I agree.
The point should be there shouldn't be an award because you shouldn't be able to give the award to anyone because everybody does it. It shouldn't be singled out to one player that does it. It should be everyone across the board. Like I said, like most of these athletes come from low to mid income houses or families. So to not then turn around and give back blows my mind because you've seen what it's like coming up in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do owe Bill Gates an apology. He is someone that he's given away his entire fortune once or twice already in one lump sum to different charities. His company's so good he makes it right back. But he's like bringing water to people in Africa that have no way of getting
I know
it.
he does computers like for schools and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
He just donates like
He's someone
50 to 100 computers at a clip.
He's a perfect example of knowing how to be rich.
Yeah.
He doesn't waste his money on extravagant things. You know, he's not Jay Leno with his however many garages full of cars. How many cars do you need? How many families could be fed off one car?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, put some shit in perspective, people. Like, you have people in this country that can't eat, are homeless, and you've got 30 cars in your garage. I mean, I have nothing against Jay Leno, but honestly, like, what are you doing? I don't know. Maybe he does do charitable things, but you don't need all that.
I agree.
You don't need more cars than you could possibly drive.
I agree, but that's and not to play. I'm going to sound like I'm playing devil's advocate, but that's it. That's his form of collection. That's just his lifestyle. He can afford that, and that's what he likes to do. I'm not saying it's right.
No, but if he's going to do
but
that, I hope he's counteracting that.
I would think he is. I mean, we can't assume that he is
Exactly.
or isn't, right?
Yeah.
But I would think he is. I think that if he wasn't, he kind of would know too. You know what I mean?
I guess.
To a certain degree.
Because there are plenty of people that don't.
Let me ask you this: growing up and being our ages now, have you ever encountered a professional athlete that has done something for you, or to someone you know that has made you say, "Wow, I didn't either see that coming," or "Wow, that's amazing." I really hope that somebody, advertises what this guy or this woman has done. Have you ever had that? I can give you an example if you know what I mean. You don't know because you're looking at me like I have.
No, give the example because I don't know if I have any.
Well, mine is I went to a wrestling event. I had just had back surgery. I had 2 metal rods implemented into my back, and I went to a wrestling event, and it was the first time that I actually got to go to a wrestling event where they, in those type of events, they always say if you have anybody in a wheelchair or if you need to, they always let those people go first. That's my dog. He's excited about the story.
Oh.
So
He knows the ending.
yeah, right. So naturally, I was given that opportunity to go up, but because it was way too early, they gave me a ticket to say when I was gonna come back, they'd just bring the ticket up. Well, at the time, my friend and I, we bought tickets. We got front row seats. Never had front row seats before.
Yeah.
Got the front row seats. We were already locked in. We used to do general admission, so we'd have to wait to get in.
Yeah.
Because we had front row, we were able to leave and go get something to eat. As we were eating, we heard 2 guys talking about how they couldn't believe that the tickets were all screwed up. And we're like, what? We're like, what's going on? So we asked these 2 guys, like, yeah, did you guys buy tickets earlier? I'm like, yeah, we did. They're like, did you get front row? I was like, yeah. Look at your tickets. We looked at our tickets. Never looked at them. It was for a different state. They gave the wrong tickets out.
Oh, wow.
So I'm thinking, now we're like, oh my God. So we have to run back.
Yeah.
Because tickets were on sale. There was people in line.
Yeah.
Now we're destined to lose the seats and possibly not even get in. So we get there, and by the time we get there, the tickets are for general admission. We lose, right?
Man.
We don't get anything. We don't get nothing.
That sucks.
Right? So we're upset, but we're happy at least that we're going to be there for the taping.
Yeah.
Professional wrestler, Tommy Dreamer, gets wind that this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out from the locker room. We're not even inside the building yet. Pulls us aside and says, "I'm really sorry that we screwed up." That's the clean version. I want to make it up to you.
Was this for ECW?
This is for ECW.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So I should have been more clear.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
it was for ECW.
Yeah,
I didn't want to say it because I was going to
Oh, my
lean
bad.
into
I'm
that.
sorry.
No. That's fine.
Yeah.
That was the point. So I'm glad you said that because I
Yeah.
kept going and not said ECW. So he came out and he says, "We're really sorry we screwed up. I'm gonna make it up to you guys." He gave me 2 T-shirts. He gave me a picture. He allowed me to get 2 of my favorite videos because back then it was videotapes.
Yeah.
And he walked me to my seat, and then later on had Paul Heyman, who at the time I didn't even really think was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was just Paul Heyman, like, to me, you know. Paul Heyman brought me in the back, and I met the Dudley Boys.
Oh,
which
wow.
back then I didn't even care because it was the Dudley. It was, you know what I mean. This is how my mindset was at, because I was so happy that Tommy Dreamer did that. Because it was like, wow, this guy, and he spent time. He wanted to see my scars. He wanted to talk to me. And you know what the coolest thing about that? That was 1998. We're in 2017.
I was gonna say, don't act like you don't know.
No, because I want to be 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Because it's such a good ending. It was 2008. It was 2016.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter for the first time, and I see Tommy Dreamer is actually on Twitter.
Okay.
So I thinking, well, I'll just say what's up to him.
Yeah.
Send him a couple messages. Hey, it's been a long time. I don't even remember me. You're the one that helped me out and gave me 2 T-shirts. Let me tell you, not only did he respond to my Twitter, but he also said, "Are you the guy with the back injury?
Yeah.
I remember you."
That's
that
crazy.
Right there is a person that I can consider almost a hero.
Yeah.
Because he remembered me.
That's awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Tommy Dreamer. That's my favorite story.
That story leads into a story that is not mine, but I have to share it because how you didn't know how you didn't care who the Dudley Boys and all that were.
Yeah.
My friend Tom used to work in the music industry, but before he got his job with a major label, all right, he was at a show. Well, you want to hear this, dude?
Yeah, I'm listening.
No, believe me. He was at a show, right? Back when P. Diddy had that group Dream, the 4 girls that were really attractive.
Yeah.
They're backstage. It's my friend Tom, this kid Matt, and somebody else. I can't remember the other person, but they're backstage and they're trying to get a good vantage point of Dream. Because, they were hot.
Yeah, of course.
But this black dude keeps standing in their way, and they're like, come on, man, do you mind? We're trying to, see these girls. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I understand. And he walks away. It was Wyclef Jean.
Oh, my God.
From the Fugees.
Now, go figure, right?
Didn't you have a story like that at a Roy Rogers salad bar?
God.
Oh God, yeah. That was it was Redman at the Fixins bar. And I asked I was like, "Excuse me." I was like, "Can I get to the can I get to the ketchup?" Because he was standing right in the way. I'm like, I didn't even look up and see that it was him. And he's like, "Yeah, bro, come on over." He's like, "Go ahead." Right? So he just kind of moved over and was like, and I just kind of looked up and he has that look. You know what I mean? It's undeniable. If you knew who Redman was, and you can't mistake him for anybody.
Yeah, nope.
But he's so tall.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's huge.
Okay.
Him and Method Man both are enormous.
So, when I kind of looked over, it was I was even with his chest, right? So I'm like, excuse me, I just got to get to this, and he's like, yeah, go ahead, right? So I'm like, I turned around and I walked back, and I kind of glanced at him, and then I looked away, and I was like, I think that was Redman, right? And I'm coming back, I'm sitting at the table, I think my mom was there, and I told my mom. And my mom doesn't even know. Okay, so
she's not a Redman fan.
I was like, Ma, I think that was Redman at the Fixins bar. And my mom was like, you shouldn't call people that. And I'm like, no. I was like, that's his stage name. I said he calls himself Redman. She was like, why would somebody pick a name like that? I don't know. But I couldn't even... It was I saw... But I couldn't even share it with anybody.
Yeah,
it was it was
nobody knew.
It was one of those things where it was my mom was there. I think my aunt was there at the time. My cousin, it was and nobody knew who he was. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so exciting. It was I just told Redman to get out of my way. And they were like, yeah, we don't know who he is. So
Remember... we were in a city, and you're gonna see people all the time in the city. And we were walking, and this massively tall dude walked by, and I'm like, "Yo,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's Tim Robbins."
Tim
and
Robbins.
you were like, "Who's Tim Robbins?" I'm like, "Shawshank Redemption, Tim Robbins." He's like, "No, that's not Tim Robbins." I was like, "No, dude, it's Tim Robbins." And he walked up onto like it was like a 3-step thing into a trailer, and he got to the top step, and I was like, "Mr. Robbins!"
Yeah.
And I got the head nod. I was like, that made my week, man. I was like, "Yeah, I got the head nod."
Yeah.
We saw
actually-
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, we saw Marissa Tomei. Cameron. I ran into Cameron Diaz in the city.
Eh.
The guy that played Lionel Luthor on Smallville.
Yeah.
We were on another story. We were on the. I was on the subway with my
Wait,
dad.
let me preface this
Oh,
by
God.
saying that Randy's father is one of a kind.
I'm on the subway with my dad, and he's the actor's name is John Glover, and he played Lionel Luthor on Smallville. And we kind of watched the show. We actually watched it, all the time. So we knew who he was.
At least the first 6 seasons.
And I think at the time when we met him, Smallville was off the air for like maybe a year and a half.
But he hadn't been on a show.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
No, but so I'm on the subway and I kind of like nudged my father, and I was like, Dad, I says, look who it is. He's standing behind you, and my father like looks at him. John Glover looks at my dad, and my dad just like kind of does like a double take, and just like kind of like shakes his head, and he kind of like looks to see if it's really him.
I can see him doing it.
And he's like, "You're Lionel Luthor," and John Glover looks at him, and he said, "Yeah," at the time, that was like 7-8 years ago. He's like, "But yeah," he says, "that was me," and he goes, "You were fantastic." He goes, "Are you gonna do Smallville again?" And he goes, "The show's been off for like a year and a half." He goes, "I think it's kind of run its course." Right? And my dad
your father.
My dad was so bummed, and he goes, "You were great on that show." He says, he was like, "I loved you on that show," and he was like, "Thanks," and we got to talking to him a little bit, but he was doing some off-Broadway stuff, and doing a couple shows, I guess, around the Central Park area. But very, very nice guy. But that was actually kind of nice.
I think one cool thing that we both got to experience was we went to our first Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And, we got to meet and talk to a lot of great creators. Roy Thomas, who created a ton of people at Marvel, like Iron Fist and Ghost Rider, for example.
And we got to meet our idol, or one of our childhood
Oh
heroes.
my God! Yeah, Data.
Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
And people, let me explain to you that he still sounds exactly the same, even though he's in his like late 40s or 50s. He's still got the same voice. And I had my pop with me, and he signed it. I'm looking for booby traps, which made my day. But later on, like the next day, on Saturday, we went up to this creator. His name is Tim Seeley. He's writing Nightwing right now for DC, and he did Revival at Image. And I took a shot. Before we walked into the actual con, I was like, Tim, what are you doing afterwards? Would you want to go to dinner, on us? Now, that was done with me, not knowing how much food costs at a casino. Yeah, especially Bobby Flay's, where it's like $40 for a steak and you got to pay extra for the mashed potatoes. But, all right, let's get back to the story. So, Tim, surprisingly, was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So, we went by his table at the end of the con for the day. It was around 7 o'clock. And we're waiting for Tim to clean up. And Greg Pak comes walking over. And if you don't follow comic books, just know that he's written the best Incredible Hulk story, hands down, ever. And the character's been around for 60 years with Planet Hulk. And he asked Tim what he's doing. Tim says he's going to dinner with us. And he's like, well, do you mind if I join? And I'm like, no, we definitely don't want the writer of Planet Hulk to come to dinner with us.
He was like, well, I got nothing to do right now. Yeah. Go to an empty hotel room. He's like, you mind if I come?
Yeah, and
he's asking us for permission.
Exactly. And let me tell you that it couldn't have been more fun. These guys are so down to earth, and it was a great time. We ate, had dinner, just hung out for like a good hour and a half, 2 hours, and then Randy went off to a poker tournament he was in. Greg Pak went off to his hotel. And me and Tim were like, well, the night's still young. Let's hit a bar. So we hit a bar in the casino, and we're talking. We hung out for a good long time, and it was a lot of fun. And he didn't have to hang out with us. He didn't have to spend time with us. We're nobodies. We're just fans. But these guys, these are what your idols should be. When you walk up to these guys, and no, they're not these pro athletes, but to me, they're superstars. And to be able to talk to these guys like normal human beings and hang out with them just because we asked, like, that doesn't normally happen in most industries and stuff like that. And everyone I've met, from Cullen Bunn to Walter Simonson and Louise Simonson, and everyone that I've met in the comic book industry, with exceptions that I won't get into, have been amazing people, delightful people, down to earth. And what people don't understand is these are the ones that are behind these movies that are making literally billions of dollars now.
They're the first people that touched the writing.
Yeah, exactly. They have every right to walk around with their head pretty big at this point. All their stuff gets turned into movies, but they're not. They're all grounded. And that's cool. And, there's not many industries that you can get to talk to people like that. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. No, I just that was great, and one of the best things that we got from there, that we kind of realized it when nobody was doing it, was they actually gave you this large poster for the con. It was like the first or second year I think they ever did this.
No, it was first.
It was the first time, and they gave you some kind of limited edition poster, about half the size of a normal poster. I would say
it wasn't huge,
and we kind of used that as an opportunity to walk around to even the most unknown writer, or artist, and meet them and get them to sign this poster.
Yeah, we did that Friday.
So, and we went around and we met everybody who was possibly there, who was an artist or a writer, and we had them sign the poster. So we each have a poster with like 45 to 50 names on it. You know what I mean? So it's like...
And we know we're the only ones that were doing it because everybody's like, oh, this is a good idea. How come nobody else is doing this?
Yeah, right.
So we know they're like, they're two of a kind. And when you look at it and you can point out who these artists are... the guy that was doing Deadpool for a while, Scott Koblish, even did a little Deadpool on both of our posters. Like
he did. Scott Koblish, the one that wrote the story of the breaking of Batman's back.
Yep.
Scott Hanna.
We had
right?
Jerry. No.
Scott Hanna was. What was he doing? He was doing Batman too, right?
Scott Hanna's done a little bit of everything. He's done a lot of inking on various things. We met Roy Thomas. We met Jerry Ordway. Jerry Ordway did a Superman sketch for me. It was great. Took him 2 seconds, and it's like the pinnacle of Superman.
Right. We met the both Simonsons.
Yeah. Louise Simonson worked on that. Jerry Ordway worked on what you're talking about. Oh, no, actually, I think you're talking about the wedding that you got signed by like 6 different people.
Oh, yeah.
It was a wedding. It was a wedding.
And then we had, who was the... Oh, we met Jim Shooter, who was the editor, Marvel.
Yep.
Jim Shooter. Yeah. Mike Zeck, who did Secret Wars and stuff like that. He was cool. We actually got to meet Neil Adams, but we have him signed.
Oh my God, that guy! That guy he's one of a kind, that's for sure.
So that was it was actually very cool.
Getting back to the heroes thing, I don't think celebrities should be held to that standard. I just don't. They do charitable things, yes, and that's something that you can commend. But heroes should be, like Angel said, it should be your parents. It should be a local teacher. I wish I had that. I had teachers telling my mother all I did was spend time writing and reading, but none of them ever decided to cultivate that. My English teachers weren't trying to help me improve my grammar, etc., etc. So I had to waste a lot of time on that. But there are kids that are lucky enough to have teachers that go out of their way. And that's their hero. That's their idol. Maybe they end up becoming teachers. Maybe they end up just taking off in that specific category that they like because this teacher was amazing. Heroes should be firemen. heroes should be police, which unfortunately right now they're the polar opposite of heroes. You know what I mean? It's not right, but that's the situation. But do we really want to mention athletes in the same breath?
No,
I mean, honestly.
not when you have, like you said, that they can, some celebrities can be generous and do these things or whatever. But if you're gonna have if you're the only reason why you're doing it is to have a camera crew follow you around and get a news story that you're actually doing it, then is it really, are you doing it for the right reasons?
Do they even want to be? I don't think any of them really want to be. That's a lot of pressure. I mean, think about what you have to live up to be that. You know what I mean? To be considered a hero. Emmanuel's a sweetheart. Emmanuel Shrieky from Entourage in Murder in the First. She's absolutely amazing. She followed me on Twitter, responded to me she had no right to do that at all. Like, at the time, I was stocking dairy. But she did. You know what I mean? She decided to write me back for whatever reason, and now we're friends. That's great, but I know she doesn't want to be a hero. No matter how good a person she is, and she's Canadian, so she has that step up on us. She's automatically nicer than us. But I mean, I've talked to enough people they just want to live their life. I mean, they don't want that weighing on them. They understand they're in the limelight, and they understand that they should toe the line, you know what I mean, and act like civilized human beings, but none of them want that added pressure of being considered a hero or a role model. What was it, Derek Coleman for the Nets used to say, "I'm no role model." You know what I mean? I don't want to be a role model. He even put it on his sneaker commercials. Like,
some people don't want that type of attention either.
I think most people don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're just normal people. They just want to live their life.
They do.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it goes back to what I said in the very beginning. It's all about, in previous, shows, it's all about social media that dictates where these people go. But you can't forget where you came from. I know that's easier said than done for us because we're not celebrities, and we have never really had a taste of it. But I just think that's something that you really have to. I don't know. You have to get a good grasp of. I think that all starts with your insecurities, though, too. I think that if you have a good home base, strong background, whether that's anything, culture or you name it, and of course a family values, good family background. I think if you have people that are on your side that is not money hungry and are willing to take it to that level and take, like for example, you and Heath. You've been supporting him his whole career, and everything he's doing. Not many people would do that. Not many people would take the time to say, "I'm going to stick by you, and I believe in you."
But my thing is, just to throw a monkey wrench into all this and stuff is that I can kind of see why some of these athletes or celebrities want that recognition for being generous or giving back to the community and having the camera crew in tow and documenting it, because not because maybe some of them to showboat it, you know what I mean, like just to tell people that
you think it's another notch in their resume?
I am this great person because I'm doing all these things, but like, is it recognized? You know what I mean? Like, if they do something, you know what I mean? Like, who recognizes it?
So,
but I'm just saying, I'm just throwing a monkey wrench into that.
Right. So you're saying that these are people
just to get
want to be recognized.
Yeah, just to get the recognition for doing, for doing, one of a charitable aspect.
So,
okay. So my thing is if. Like Oprah, okay? She could have given away those cars at that time.
You got a car, you get a car.
You get a car, you get
right.
okay?
But she that was to do it on the show.
Right. But my thing was she wanted the recognition for it. Okay? So you don't do these things, right? Mm-hmm. For, just because. You do it
So it's
because
like a double standard. They do it because they want to, but at the same token, they know they have to because that's how they keep themselves on the map. They get the recognition.
No, but I think a
and the
part of
attention.
it. I think honestly, I think a part of it is they want the recognition that they're doing a good deed. You know what I mean?
Like a,
whether
like
it's
a pat on the back type
whether
of deal?
yeah, whether it's for selfish reasons,
Okay.
or whether it's for just to let people know that they are charitable. You know what I mean? Like, because if a random celebrity, okay, just decides to help a family out, with sending their kids to college, okay,
Right.
like he just this actor puts some money in a trust fund for the family for when they grow up, just a random family. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not out there, the story is not out there, nobody knows that they actually did it other than the family. You know what I mean?
That's
Maybe
all, that's all they should know.
but maybe the family, will tell other people, whatever, and the story will gain traction that way.
Oh, God.
But my thing is nobody knows about it, so it really didn't happen.
It's like a tree in the woods thing.
You got it. Okay? So I
But
can
if
see
the actor's doing it for the right reason, it wouldn't matter.
right. So but I can see why some celebrities or athletes do it that way. Is
Yeah,
because if it doesn't exist, you know what I mean, then they don't do it at all. So it's like, okay, so this, they'll whatever the news will say, well, this actor never did anything for this community or whatever. Well, it was never taped. You know what I mean?
Right,
So that actor gets, the actor or the athlete gets blamed for not doing anything for the community because nothing was ever on tape that they did anything. You know what I mean? Like, I see both ways.
I understand.
All right.
Let me ask you.
But he said if they do it, you know what I mean? If you're doing it for the right reasons, you shouldn't need any of that.
Well, all right. This is gonna be. I'm gonna say this story, and it's gonna come across as I'm trying to get recognition for it, but it's so long after the fact that it shouldn't be conveyed that way. All right, like back when I was at Media Play, 2002, 2003, I was a manager. Right, this is a long time ago. I think the statute of limitations of me trying to get play for it is over. But as a manager, I got a Christmas bonus. It was extra money I wasn't expecting. So what I did was I went around the store. I bought various things. A lot of it was the Atari thing that you just hook up to the TV and all of a sudden you have all the old Atari games.
Yeah.
A lot of like stuffed animals and stuff. And myself, my friend Dante, and my friend Danielle, we went to Vassar Hospital and just gave a kid all throughout the hospital something that I picked up. And it made their day. You know what I mean? And that felt amazing. But I didn't go around to all the girls I found attractive at the time and go, oh, did you hear what I just did?
Right.
I mean, we got a letter. I didn't even keep the letter. I let Dante keep the letter so he could show his mom that he was part of this. You know what I mean? That he had done this. But that's what it should be, for the feeling that you get when you do it.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean that the feeling that you have when you do these type of things, to me, far outweigh the recognition.
I totally agree with you.
You know what I mean?
That's why I love Anonymous.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, they didn't know who I was. I didn't say, "Oh, I'm Heath Moto. This is my address. Make sure you tell everybody I did it." You know what I mean? These kids were in a hospital around the holidays, and I gave them something they didn't have, like something to get through the day, because then they're stuck in these hospital beds.
Listen, I understand.
And the way I felt was like the Grinch at the end of the How He Stole Christmas thing. Like,
Right.
my heart was 10 times the size it normally is. You know what I mean? And
that's awesome.
And all I told my mom, and that's really all that. I mean, did you know I did that?
I think you told me a while back, but yeah, it's not something that you brought up to brag about it.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
I didn't hear about it. I mean, that's pretty cool. And I understand what you're saying. Like, I run a youth group, and it's something that I do on my own time. And I run into some kids that some of them don't even have food, some don't even have clothes, and the feeling I get when nothing is crazier when you're running a program and you're feeding kids, and as you're walking around and you're seeing kids' smiling faces, you hear a kid say, "I haven't seen this much food in my life."
Yeah.
you know, you're like, wow.
Which is crazy
you know?
to hear in this country.
Yeah, you know, so it's
Crazy to hear.
like, that's, but it's, like I said, when I do it, it's not about Angel, it's about the program, it's about the kids, and it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And I hate when people come up to me and they say, you're doing a great, no. This is their program, you know.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. I totally do.
If I could afford to do that every year, I would love to.
Well, that's what I was going to segue into. I was going to say to you, if in fact an opportunity presents itself to each one of us, what is the, aside from our families, because of course we would all take care of our families, what is the one thing you would truly want to get involved in?
You really want to know? Because I've laid this out. Because I'm starting to get to.
No, I really want to say this. I want us to go around. I think our viewers, our fans, need to know who they're really listening to. That's why I want to do this show. That's why I want to do this specific topic, because it's another way for them to really see a different side of us, but really see what we're all about. You know what I mean? And for the record, either one of us will call each other out when we know we're making up a lie, because we're not going to allow us to do that here.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's why I think it's something we should bring up.
Yeah,
so, if you had the opportunity, and aside from our families, what is the one program or thing you would want to be involved in? You start us off.
I'm hoping that the trajectory that my writing's taking right now and my company's taking right now, that I will be at one point in the driver's seat to do this, is I would love to go to Eminem when I'm at a stature that I can get a meeting with him. Go to Obama and go to these people and start a program and start lifting these cities up like Detroit. You know what I mean? Start raising money, hold concerts, start raising money to, like, there are major advancements in solar power. There are debates of whether it could work or not, but there's a company that can take the roads that are there now and make them solar panels. So sun's constantly beating down on them, and you're feeding energy to a city. You know what I mean? Because you're using it for not only roads, you're using it for parking areas. You know what I mean? And it's constantly being fed. So let's say Detroit, we're an area which a lot of people are unemployed because the auto industry left. Give them jobs, replacing the roads with these solar panels. You know what I mean? The parking areas with solar panels. Start lifting up Detroit, because now you have people making a very good income when they had nothing before. And you're also benefiting off renewable energy by lifting this entire city up. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I think people with money now should be doing already. Like, people that have $600 million, or Olsen twins, perfect example, make like $70 million a year. What are they doing with it? You know what I mean? Like, you could be doing these things. You could put the right people in place. And the reason I would reach out to Obama is because I absolutely respect him. I would put him in charge of it, because he knows the people that would need to be known to get something like this to work. And you get people like Eminem, who lives and breathes Detroit, behind it, you know what I mean? And he'll get people involved in concerts. You take the concert around the country, you raise money, you start getting something like this going. You know what I mean? And you can do that throughout the entire country. You start with Detroit and then you move next. You know what I mean? And
globally.
Another thing, how much desert land do we have that we can do absolutely nothing with? Why is that not all solar panels? Why is that not feeding energy to the entire rest of the country? Why are we not using that? China just built the biggest solar panel field on the ocean ever. And it's going to energize most of their major cities. It's like, why are we so far behind? These are things that I want to do once I start coming in with money. Because I don't care about money. I don't need 5 cars. I like my car. I don't need anything more extravagant than that. You know what I mean? You know me. If I could make enough money to live comfortably and buy the graphic novels I want when I want them, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? If I can I'll make $100,000 a year. That's 3 times what I'm making now. If I can't live off that, there's something wrong. I don't need all this excess that these people for some reason need. A-Rod, what do you need $500 million for? What are you doing with that?
Extra sit-ups.
But that's seriously, what are you doing with that? You can't possibly spend that money. You can't.
Not in a lifetime.
Not in 10 lifetimes. So
I know he does charitable. I know he does a lot of charitable functions.
okay, that's great. But $500 million worth? Like, that's the thing.
No, but just I know he does the Boys and Girls Club. I know he's very involved in that.
Yeah, he's very involved in getting kids in baseball and getting them off the streets. He does a lot of great things, but he himself, almost single-handedly, could bring Detroit back. Yeah, I mean, like, come on. That's my thing. This is the way I look at it, and this is how I would lay it out to them. Do you want to be on the cover of a magazine, or do you want to be in a history book? Do you want to be remembered as that person that saved the city and maybe brought the rest of the country up? Or do you want to be that person that made $500 million and then you never hear from them again? I would rather be in a history book. I'd rather be 10 years from now, kids are learning about the things that we've done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why people don't look at it that way. Like, I don't understand why people can make this amount of money, this exorbitant amount of money, and then use it to buy cars and houses and et cetera and et cetera. When you got kids that can't eat. I don't understand it. Maybe it's how I'm built. Maybe it's the way I'm wired. Maybe I want to live up to what my mother expected of me. That's a major part of it. But
I think when you make money, you know, everybody wants a piece of it, and no matter how bad you try to hide from that, your people are just seeking you out. You have to relocate. I mean, you got money, you have to relocate. It's the bottom line. I mean, look how many people that you've seen that won lottery. They look at the way they've ended up. They have suicide. They're depressed. They don't know how to manage their money. So I don't know. I mean, for me, myself, if I had that opportunity, my mom has a great program that she runs. It's called Gift to the Hearts, and it's somewhat anonymous donors. I've been a part of it now almost 3 years, and to watch anonymous people drop off. I mean, when something happens, my mom makes one phone call, and like if it's a family that's just had a fire, and they lost their house, she makes one phone call. It's like I'll give you an example with a holiday, because I'll help out Santa.
Well, she technically did it for me,
huh?
Right? She technically did it for me when I moved. I needed I needed stuff I didn't have, and all of a sudden I had it.
Yeah. So it one phone call. Our porch, my mom's porch was full.
Mm-hmm.
One phone call, my first experience, I got dressed up, and we went and we Christmasized, I make my own word, Christmasized a house.
Yeah.
This is a family that didn't have any plans on having a Christmas, didn't have any plans on having gifts, but they were happy because they had each other. It sounds like a book. You can't write this. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I walked in, and within an hour and a half, we put a Christmas tree up. We filled it up with presents, and to watch that house go from, like, just pale faces to these glowing.
Yeah.
And I do it every year, and it's year round, and it's anonymous, and I would love to feed that, and that's something that I'm going to take part in.
Expand upon it.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And her motto is no child should go without a gift, and that's year round. That's birthdays. That's everything. No child or adult should go without a gift. Mm-hmm. And it's an awesome experience.
Imagine if that was a global thing. I mean, but imagine the difference it would make. Like,
be awesome. The world would be a nicer place.
Yeah.
People would be nicer. How about you, man?
I'd probably focus a lot on St. Jude and little kids with cancer and stuff like that, because it really breaks my heart. Seeing them in the beds and stuff, and it was my grandmother's favorite charity, so it would kind of carry on the tradition with her.
Oh, nice.
So
that's cool. That's good, man.
Kitty grandmother?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, listen, I think that it's a good topic. I think it's something we definitely should think about doing more of, and getting a little bit more in depth. I want to reach out to our viewers and our people on Twitter. You really need to once you hear this episode, reach out to us. What would you do? Tell us what you would do. Tell us, and you know what? If you want to be a part of this show, write to us. We'll bring up the topic. Maybe we'll have you on. Maybe we can get you on Skype or something, And you know what? I think we should open it up and let our viewers and our fans say, you know what? Let me tell you what I would do. Let me tell you what we are doing. Maybe when we get to the point where we make money, and we're not even in it for the money. Let's be real. We're because we wanted to do this.
Yeah.
But let's just say we get there. We'll help you.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, it's something that that's what we strive to do.
I would like to change gears, and this will probably run the rest of this episode, bring it up to what we're normally at. Why do you think we are all, not we in this room, I'm speaking in generally, why do we feel the need to knock our heroes down? I mean, they shouldn't necessarily be heroes, but these are people some of us idolize, and then for some reason we revel in the fact when they are caught doing something wrong. Like, I understand the only reason it's as big as it normally is now is because of social media, like you've been saying, so it's blown out of proportion. It's basically like if one of us did something wrong, one of us got arrested, this area would know about it.
Right.
Everyone that knows us would know about it. It's just more on a global scale because you're in the limelight. But why? Why do people feel the need? Is it just jealousy?
Listen, wait, 2017. What? 20 years ago. I'll go that deep. 20 years ago.
You were playing with toys. We got it.
No, 20 years ago, you turn on the morning news, you turn on the afternoon news, whatever news.
Yeah.
They never had a pop star segment. They never had a gossip segment. If and the only time you ever heard something about a celebrity, if it was something tragic.
Well, a huge part of that is what the hell's that? The one. This is like an every episode thing now. The one television show.
Wendy Williams?
No.
What?
Screw her. The one that's like
TMZ?
Yes. That's why.
Okay, but that's a whole.
It's literally on 3 times a day.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. How these people live with themselves. And yeah, I'm talking TMZ. I'll call you right out.
Yeah.
How you live with yourself.
Yeah.
How you are able to just sit there and really, if you think about it,
laugh about it.
They think about it. They just sit around
and just shit on people.
And yeah. And you know what's funny?
And they make a living.
I would love. Not that I would. I shouldn't say I would love to because it's karma, but I'd love to see what happens when one of them get caught, and then all of a sudden they have to talk about their own.
Well, that's what they
wouldn't do it.
That's why they do it, because they know nobody would care if they get caught.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. I couldn't live a life like that.
You need a TMZ for TMZ, really.
Oh, why would you? You got to go home and think about if anybody else screwed up, because that'll make news.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Living your entire life on their mess ups.
I think it's. I'm looking at it on that side, whereas, I mean, you did bring up jealousy, but I think it goes a little bit beyond that. Yes, it does play a major role, but I think that it's bringing them down to our level. You know what I mean? Like the normal. Oh, I messed up level. You know what I mean? Like
human, you mean?
Yes.
Humanizing.
Okay. So they're not the be all end all. You know what I mean? Like, Tiger Woods did get a DUI,
he's like me,
like Joey did. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like this one here. Look at even the magazines too. Like the Us Weekly or People or whatever. They have like a section in the magazine where it's stars. They're just like us. You know what I mean? Like, or they'll catch them pumping gas or
walking their dog.
The ice cream falls off their, lands on. See, it happens to them too. You know what I mean? Like they're
no shit. They're human.
They're a totally different species than we are.
That's how they make us.
You know what I mean?
Think that is. It's not. But I don't look at it that way.
But the question he asked was,
I don't get starstruck.
But the question he asked was, why does society like to tear down heroes? It's because not necessarily just heroes, but just like people that are put up on a pedestal, like so much that when they do mess up, you know what I mean? That it's like there's a certain part of the population that relishes the fact that they are, they do mess up just like we do. You know what I mean? They do have, gasoline spill, spills off of their cars, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't mind that if it's once in a while, but it's
you
like
see them changing their tire or
single
whatever.
day. Like when a marriage breaks up, let them handle their business.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about this, and I think, what if he did this, and the other night he went out dancing, and I don't care.
And the craziest part about people knocking these people down is, who the hell do you think put them on a pedestal? It wasn't them. They're not asking for it. You think they want to be followed into restaurants and followed into bathrooms and bothered when they're with their kids and all this other stuff?
Some
no.
do.
Well, I mean,
Some-
there are
some-
some.
Some do in the beginning,
and some
and
of
then
them-
when they finally get it, then they're like, "Oh my God, what did I even ask for?"
Well,
here?"
except if you're Paris Hilton.
Well, yeah.
Or
I mean,
any of the
that and
Kardashians.
Kardashians, just a whole nother species.
Oh,
Those people like that, they're asking for what they get. You know what I mean? And every kind of news broadcast that comes out that puts them down, yeah, I might enjoy it a little bit more than normal news broadcasts. But my thing is, like, if you're going to put these people on a pedestal, you can't expect them to be perfect.
Yeah.
But since you put them there, that's what you're asking them to be. And who can live like that?
I would love to go one day. Well, that's why I cut cable. I would love to just not hear about a gossip show. Oh my God, TMZ drives me nuts. It's annoying. I don't know. I dread being famous.
And who's worse, TMZ or the people that watch it 3 times a day?
You know what's really sad? There are more people that know about celebrity gossip than they do about Constitution.
Who's the
About
president
the
right
laws.
now?
Yes. Yes.
Or the mayor of their town,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like,
Or their wife.
who are the senators of your state? You know what I mean? Like,
If Godzilla was a real thing. No, I'm serious.
no, but they know who Jennifer Aniston is dating now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like
It's sad. It's very sad. Half the people didn't even know who was running for office.
Yeah.
I've seen shows on that.
Yeah.
You know.
No, well, I think it might have been Jimmy Fallon where it was either him or
They were using basketball
what's the
names.
one that's live? Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
I think
they were going out. They were actually making up like totally like actors' names. Like
Yeah.
how do you feel about Gene Hackman running for president? And like, well, he'll be all right. And you're like, oh my God, how these people like.
No, but the problem is not only that they don't know, but they want to sound intelligent, so
Right.
they just go with it
Yeah.
rather than being like, honestly, who the hell are you talking about? But I think it was Kimmel that went around asking about. He said, "Did you hear about that giant lizard destroying Tokyo?" Right? And they were like, "Yeah, I heard about it. That's awful. I feel for those people.
That's bad.
Someone should, we should have some programs in place to let us know when something like that's going to happen."
Hey, I'm
like, are you kidding me?
I just saw somebody before game 2 of the finals. Before game 2, they were saying they said something like this. They're like, how do you feel about Chipper Jones starting as the point guard? And they're like, well, and then all of a sudden, like the guy caught it,
Yeah.
and he's like, didn't he play for baseball? Oh yeah, but remember he converted to the team, and he's been there playing. Oh yeah, and you're like, oh my God.
No,
like,
you want
really?
to. That's the problem. You're in that limelight, so you want to sound like you know what you're talking about.
Not me. I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I think you've lost your mind. Did you say the right? Did I just hear you correctly?
Just how funny would it be if you flip it? Like, I'm sure it happens. I'm sure they flip it on these guys.
Of course.
Cause everyone that they go up to can't be that dumb. So they like flip it on the guy, and the guy was like, "Well, we're not using that take." You know what I mean? Like somebody's like the Chipper
you can
Jones
tell.
question. They'll be like, "You mean the third baseman for the Braves?"
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "Oh, well, because now he just looks like an asshole."
Yeah. Unreal.
He's gonna bounce pass it to Maddox, and he's gonna hit it. He's gonna hit the 3.
You know what? The Braves were so good back then; they probably could have done that.
Yeah, true.
It would have had more wins than they had in the World Series.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a good topic to think about. I think we should have more shows like this. I think it's something that we should have our viewers take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Write to us. You remember, you got your Twitter account, right, Mr. Heath?
Yes.
Mr. Heath.
Come on, Mr. Heath. What we have? What kind of accounts we have?
We have WeMayRant is our Twitter at WeMayRant, and then our email is WeMayRant@gmail.com.
Don't forget on iTunes, you want to definitely hit the reviews.
Yes, please
We're looking
review.
for reviews. It's important, and be honest.
No, don't be honest. We want only good ones.
We want
Yeah.
likes. We want likes.
Honestly though, even if you don't have time to leave an actual review, even just leaving a star review helps.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
what I mean? So and
Fine.
no, I joke about wanting you to lie and say you like us, but if you don't like us, then let us know, because then if there's something we have to work on, then we work on it.
That's it. If we can always stop talking about the Yankees. It's not a problem.
No,
And
we can stop talking about LeBron. I cannot wait for basketball to be over.
Me neither.
I'm praying for a sweep so I don't have to talk about
Because
it.
then we can talk about where LeBron's going to go.
Oh God, is this contract up?
I believe.
No, I don't think so. You'd be hearing about it.
He's got one more year.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a long year.
yeah, it is.
Well, like I said, join us. We're on iTunes. Have an opportunity to review us and make sure you check us out on. We need more viewers.
And
we need
subscribe.
More, yeah, definitely. We need more people on to comment on our Twitter page too, though.
Yeah,
Get that going and
not just comment, but interact.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I think we're gonna
Share
start
us
working on it.
too. Share, tell people about us and get them to subscribe and listen and
Yeah,
leave us reviews.
And we're looking at some merchandise too. I've been looking at some banners. Been looking at some maybe hats and T-shirts. We'll once we get up there, we'll give some out. I think that's definitely something we should definitely think about.
Yeah.
And hopefully do a meet and greet one day, and maybe do a show in your area.
Get some
There's nothing wrong with that.
some people on too.
Yeah, definitely.
If we're gonna do meet and greets, we will be running background checks. So
Of
be
course.
ready to pee in a cup.
Of course.
Here we go
crazy
again.
people.
Security.
You had to bring in the P
Yeah,
again.
it's a running theme.
I'm leaving.
I don't even want to hear it.
I don't want to hear.
Talk, all right.
Yeah.
When
all right.
yeah.
On that note, we'll leave it at that. No rants this week because you know what? That was the rant, and the rant was about who your heroes are. Join us next time. We love doing what we do. Again, it's all about the rants. It's all about being who we are. We're not professionals. We're three guys that come together each and every week and battle topics and talk about different themes and discuss it and interact and lay down what we think is in our best interest to entertain you. So with that being said, let's close this out. What kind of music are you gonna give us this week, there, Mr. Heath? Since you're the music expert.
I usually just whatever is in that moment catches me. I play it. To be honest with you, maybe some Tribe Called Quest.
Nice. Well, you know what?
Award tour.
You are my hero because 20 years of gut-wrenching, doing what you got to do and getting, your hustle for, Hustle for Heart?
Hustle and Heart.
Hustle and Heart. Getting that off the ground. Let's support you. I think our viewers should also support him as well. Let's get him going. And I wish you nothing but the best. I think you're going to do well.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and don't forget us.
No.
Randy
Well,
and I. Don't leave Randy and I by ourselves. All of a sudden it becomes, we're just two guys. We had a third guy, but now he's a writer.
I also want to make it known that I wouldn't be having the success I'm having now if it wasn't for the help I get from friends and family, Randy especially.
Yeah, I touched base about that when you just stepped up for you. I said to him, I says, a hero is all different forms, and I says for him to be a part of, your journey, because I mentioned that. I said, for the fact that you have supported him that long, most friends wouldn't do that. They just sit there and go, "These guys crazy."
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah, and
Which
you know
I am
what?
a little.
He is nuts. So.
Yeah, but you know what? It's worth it.
It's funny when I say it. You're being an asshole.
It's worth it.
But,
So, all right, cool.
But he has benefited. He got to have dinner with an Emmy-winning writer that created Dexter, so I don't want to hear it.
Hey, that's good. That's good. Listen, and you know what? I think the journey's only beginning. So
Yeah.
with
Well,
that being
absolutely.
said, let's join us again for another episode and write us on Twitter.
Yeah,
Write us
folks,
and get the reviews.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right. Anything else?
Yep.
Yeah, we
that's
need
it.
to figure out how to end these shows.
Very simple. Very simple. We may rant.
Bye, folks.
Have one last thing for this off the field bonus episode number 2. This was recorded before Broken Witt Rebels came on board, so we wanted to still use the track as the opening, and in the episode we weren't able to thank them, so this is a little post-credit scene. Special thank you to Broken Witt Rebels for allowing us to use their song Cloud My Day as our official theme song. You can find all their tracks on Spotify. I highly recommend you go listen to them. You will not be disappointed. I love every one of their tracks, which is rare nowadays, so definitely give them a look. Hit them. They're on YouTube. They have Twitter. Make sure you find them on everything you can possibly find them on, especially Spotify. Thanks again, guys. See you next episode.